We can see a very uniform.
This is just the entrance. What do you say we go inside?
Call 1-407-W-DISNEY and make your dream come true.
Here's your local forecast on the Weather Channel.
The storm that dumped rain and snow through the Mississippi Valley and the southeast yesterday is making its move up the East Coast. The big question now is who will be commuting in the rain tomorrow and who will have snow. Good afternoon and thanks for joining us for this special edition of Weather Center, sponsored by Pontiac. I'm Janetta Jones. We've got some severe weather to tell you about also this half hour, but first let's go right to the Forecast Center and Mike Bono for the latest on the storm.
Thanks, Janetta. Very well put by Janetta. Who will be commuting in the rain and who will have snow? Notice she didn't say who will be commuting in the snow, because I'm sure a lot of commuting will be halted by the heavy snow that's coming into the Northeast right now and will continue to fall all night long. And this has been a storm to remember in a lot of the Midwest too, which really has had a very warm weather. I'm sure the winter wheat crop has been doing very well in western Nebraska and western Kansas, but you had over a foot of snow. You had up to 19 inches of snow in northeast Oklahoma, and we're seeing that you've had up to 22 inches of snow in Cassville and the Ozarks of Missouri. Cincinnati with 4 inches of snow, and that storm, a very narrow track actually. You've had quite a bit of rain to the south of that, but recent reports have come in from Pennsylvania, mostly southern, of up to 13 inches in Fishertown, Pennsylvania, and Bedford County. Somerset County coming in with a foot. And we're also looking at reports out of Altoona, Pennsylvania. They're up to 8 inches of new snow with 11 on the ground. You may have had 5 inches in the last 2 hours in Altoona, Pennsylvania. Just today, Cape Girardeau, Missouri has had 8. Carbondale has had 7. Winchester, Virginia, 5. And there's that quick 4 inches that Cincinnati picked up. Martinsburg, West Virginia, and Hagerstown, Maryland have been snowing to the tune of about 1 inch an hour now for several hours. Washington, D.C., 2 inches, but you've been struggling between rain and sleet recently, as Baltimore has been more in the direction of light but not moderate or heavy snow. A very dynamic weather system. We could see the outflow of high cirrus clouds now, which directs the path of that snow from the Ohio Valley toward the East Coast, and a new low developing in the middle Atlantic region, even in the southeastern states. Low pressure is currently charted over the southern Piedmont, but a new low is taking shape around South Carolina, where there's also a tornado watch, which we'll get to in a minute. Pressure's falling very rapidly, and that low is going to take off up the coast tonight. But a mixture of snow and sleet and freezing rain even in northern Kentucky. And West Virginia, you are about 50-50 rain-snow, with the mountains getting snow and a lot of northern West Virginia into much of Pennsylvania. getting the snow, and southern areas getting rain. But this is the solid area of snow that we're very concerned about. New York City, you've been mostly rain only because near the ground the temperatures went up during the day. But the snow that you see around Philadelphia and New Jersey on this map will be encompassing New York and its suburbs before too long. We're seeing that snow moving into the New York metro area right now. It's mainly rain, but wet snowflakes starting to pump into Long Island. Northern New Jersey up to 2 inches in your area, and this has been the big winner, if you will, so far, if you consider that to be a winning proposition. Southern Pennsylvania along the Pennsylvania Turnpike with up to 8 to 12 inches of new snow just since this morning in that band. Southern New Jersey, Philadelphia, the snow coming down heavily and beginning to build into Trenton, and now the rain turning over to snow is taking place in New York City. Now often when the wind and the precipitation come up from the south around New York, you will get a rain event, the wind coming in from the ocean. But this time, as in some other big storms like that blizzard that you had in February 11th of 1983, when the precipitation area comes in from the south, the winds start shifting around to northeast, and it's like a wall of snow moving in. In this case, it's a wall of changeover from rain to snow now taking place in New York City, and you may have several inches by morning. The big question around the city is, will rain be enough of a factor to lower accumulations? Will it be all snow? How wet will the snow be? Just inland a little bit, Connecticut, New York, down through Pennsylvania and parts of New England, easily a foot of snow, and 20 inches in some cases to be falling in Pennsylvania out of this storm. We could see some snow still over southern parts of Ohio, the Ohio Valley, and building north of Charleston and Huntington, West Virginia. You've had your several inches in southern Indiana, Illinois, and of course Missouri, but watch out for snow tonight in West Tennessee, hooking down into parts of Alabama and Mississippi, maybe even a dusting in North Georgia by morning. Our travel trouble area continues to be the Middle Atlantic states with a mixture and some sleet and snow mixed around Washington, D.C., southern West Virginia, then heavy snow beginning to take shape in the northeast as we go now between tonight and tomorrow morning. Noticing that this map only says midnight on it, that snow will develop further northward into northern New England and upstate New York, such that our accumulations look like they'll be 6 inches easily to about the Delaware River, Allentown, Philadelphia area, and again just through midnight, and then suburbs of New York and southern Connecticut and into Massachusetts. Probably when we show our next map, which should be by midday tomorrow, we'll be showing you 6 inches, 6 to 12 inches well into New England, because this low will be winding up on the coastline by that time, and this entire fetch, even including Washington probably by that time, in southern Maine and inland areas from New York City, if not the city itself, will have heavy snow going tomorrow morning. So you may just have to stay home tomorrow. The schools may be closed in some of the major metro areas of the Northeast as this storm moves in. Again, the rain-snow line, very critical, but there's a lot of energy, a lot of precipitation coming in, and one of the snowier days of the season, if not the snowiest, coming into the Northeast Monday morning. Again, we'll keep you apprised of this snow situation in the eastern part of the country, especially the Northeast, and if you're on the internet, it's weather.com for the latest on the storm situation. Now back to the studio with Janetta Jones.
All right, thanks, Mike. We are looking at another aspect of this storm, and that is with the severe potential. We may, in fact, find not only severe thunderstorms, but also tornadoes. Tornado watches in effect for parts of Florida and also parts of South Carolina, including Charleston and even around Myrtle Beach. Let's check out what's happening in Florida. We have found some pretty nasty thunderstorms throughout the day today along I-95, I-75, and the B-line. Right now, just some heavy downpours between Daytona Beach down towards Vero Beach, extending through Orlando and down towards Fort Myers, approaching Lake Okeechobee. So heavy rainfall at the very least. We may in fact see some nasty thunderstorms later on this afternoon as well. Notice that the rain is really coming down from around Sumter, South Carolina, and Columbia, extending on back towards Raleigh, North Carolina, and Cape Hatteras. Keep in mind you are in a tornado watch, so that means conditions are favorable for tornadoes. Be prepared to seek shelter immediately. Otherwise, high pressure and control for the midsection of the country. You're looking real good here, clearing out nicely. In the west, we have another set of circumstances, a new system moving in that's spreading rain on into central California. We think tomorrow Los Angeles will get into the rain, but we are also going to see that ridge of high pressure building, and the warmth is going to be building and rebounding for a lot of folks. Later on this evening, the rain may slip on southward towards Carmel and Monterey. We'll also be watching what's happening with this area.